Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny. Fruit markets apps inside. You need to develop this here. The fruit detail screens you need to develop here. This screen inside you need to show this here the grape details as well as the nutrition details and price and buy buttons you need to put here, and also need to put here the image of this product. So need to put here how to create this UI. First of all, you need to see this UI inside the HD files. Now need to open this here the HD files here. So look like this here the show, and how to create this UI. Need to make developing this UI. First of all, need to go inside here the home screens and to create here the new files and to give this here the detail screen, detail dot screen dot create here the stateful widgets and to give this here the name detail screen, and import this here material dependency, create here the scaffold, create here the app bars to write down here the app bars, and we need to set here the leading, create here the icon button, and we need to set here the on press event and to click on here the context dot push pop extension methods need to call. So if you not see here the second video, first of all need to see this here the second video of this series, because we need to explain in details how to create like this here the context pop extension methods we need to develop here, and details need to create. Now we need to set here the back icons, we need to set here the icons dot arrow iOS back, and we need to set here the color t color white text. We need to set for this here the colors like here, and we need to set this here the titles for this UI text, and we need to set here the detail, and we need to set this here the style text styles. We need to set this here the color t color white text. Then after font, we need to set this here the font size 14 and font weight. Need to set here the medium font weight 500 for the mediums, and look like this here the configurations for this value, and to configure this here and detail screens we need to creating here the app bars are the done. How to call this here this connect with here the screens, we need to click on this any cells, and to open this here the detail screens we need to pass here. So now need to go inside here the home tab screens, and we need to find out here the any sections need to here, and on press event we need to pass this here the value context dot push extension methods we need to call here, and to const dot we need to give this here the detail screen and semicolons, copy this here same, need to pass this here the others like here, and last one here we need to save here, and now need to click here detail screens look like this here the show. Now need to change this here the center text, need to set this here to false and show like this here the UI. Now you need to create for the bottom, need to draw this here the bottom area, need to first of all the draw here the bottom bars. Now need to give this scaffold, set here the bottom navigation bars, need to set here the containers like here, and we need to create here the maybe non-list direct, we need to create here the row is good. First of all, need to set this here the safe area, create the row childs like here. So need to set this here and set here the containers is good. Need to give this here the padding const edges inside symmetric horizontals need to give this here the 20, and verticals need to give this here the 8. Like we need to configurations, now need to set this here the text property, you need to set here, and we need to set this here the value of this here slash dollars, and you need to give this here the value of string directly. You need to pass this here the 160. Now you need to set this here the direct string value. Now show API calling times. You need to change creating here this dynamic value. You need to put here now like this kg, and we need to set this here the styles, text styles. Set here the color, three colors. We need to give this here the primary text colors, and set here the font size. Need to set here the 16 font weight. Semibolts we need to set here font weight 600 for semibolts. Like you need to configurations and show like this here the bottom here. This value we need to show here the data, and now we need to give this here the main axis alignments. We need to set here the space between like years. Now need to develop here the buy button, get here the round button, and titles need to set this here the buy now, and we need to give this here the width. We need to set this here the 150, and on press event we need to write down here, and show like similar to UI, and also need to change this here the height for this UI. Need to set this here the 44, and show like this similar to UI. We need to decrease this years 140, 130 is good. Here the small buttons need to increase this here 40, and show like years. Now this is here the developing here the bottom navigation bars for the buying and add to carts buttons. We need to put this here, these buttons here, the buy buttons. Now we need to developing here the body of this UI. We need to put here now here's to give this here comma and to alignment, then container before need to write down here the body, and to create here the scroll view, single child scroll you need to put here, create here the child like here, and we need to configure here the column like here, and need to create here the container padding symmetric and horizontal 20, and verticals we need to also give this here the 20 for this UI. We need to set here for this data for the drawing here. First of all, we need to single child scroll view tag. Inside we need to developing here the padding. Inside we need to create here the columns. Now we need to roots image we need to show here. Need to write down here the image assets, and I have already put inside the asset folders, img folders inside the big fruit image. We need to give this here the big fruit ones, copy relative path, and we need to paste this here like here, and we need to give this here the width is equal to, need to write down here the context dot, we need to maybe we need to set this here the double dots max fit is good. Now need to set here the fit box fit we need to set here, and we need to give this here the height also. Need to configure for this UI. Context dots need to use here the width, and multiplication by 0.14% of the width screen. So need to give this here the height, otherwise need to 35. If you need here the more, than to increase for this value, and show like this here the UI. We need to set here the 40% is good. Increase this here and more needs, that's when to like here. Now we need to clip a rect and to set here the corner radius. Set here the border radius. Set here border radius circular. So need to set this here the 15, and similar designs we need to making like this here the UI. Now this is are the drawing here the duns, and to increase this here the vertical padding 25, and show like this here. And here give this here the cross axis alignments. We need to set this here the start value. We need to set here. Now we need to set here the titles of this fruits names. We need to show here. We need to give this here the names as a grapes like here. And we need to set this here the style text styles. Set here the color t color primary text like yours. And to also set here the font size, need to check here the 18 semi bold. So need to configure this here font weight, and we need to set here the font weight 600 for semi bolds. Like configurations are the needs and show like this here the grapes. Now need to create here the padding symmetric. Otherwise, you not need here the paddings. Need to remove here. Need to set here the size box after the image and title between. So need to give this here the height space. Need to configure this here the 20 and const value and show like this here. Decrease this here and to set here the 15 image. Now need to copy paste this here add space. Now copy here and to detail text need to show here. Paste this here to fix this here. And now need to set here the font 12 regulars, and we need to set this here the regular font show like this here. So need to change this here the secondary text. Now we need to show here the nutrition value, and also need to set this here the set here the padding symmetric horizontal 8 and save here and look like this similar to designs we need to showing here for this UI. Now if you give this only, and we need to set here the only left is good because we need to need this here the more space and use this text here. That's why I need to put here again. So we need to copy here these titles and we need to paste this here and to give this here the titles as a nutrition and increase this here the 25 and show like here. So we need to set here the 20 nutrition and need to create here the list view builders with chapters. Need to set here the context indexed and making like this here the return create here the row like years and this years, and we need to give this here the chapters context indexed and to give this here the between height space for this list. We need to configure here. That's why I need to give this here the size box. Give this here the height space. We need to set this here the 8 by 12. Here the const value and item counts. We need to first of all the making here the array of this list nutrition array. Need to give this here these variables nutrition array like here, and we need to pass this here the wall value to fix this here. Need to first one is the fiber, second one is the potassium, third one is we need to set here the iron. Then after we need to give this here the magnesiums, vitamin C, vitamin E, Now need to write down here vitamin C, same as vitamin E, and one more. Need to set here the zinc, and last ones need to similar to designs. Need to paste this here the potassium. Like here, so we need to give this here the nutrition array, and we need to configure this here the nutrition array dot length. Like here, now we need to give this here the most important parts of this UI. If you not set here the physics, otherwise physics, we need to set here so never scroll physics and const value. This declares here, and now we need to sync wrap. Need to set here the true. This is the most important part of this UI. We need to configure this here, and then after so need to setting here the gets here an object is equal to nutrition array of index of value. We need to get this here the string value like here, and we need to create here the text fields first of all like here. We need to give this here the n objects text, set here the style. You need to copy this here this value tag styles, need to paste here and show like this here the styles data, and we need to set here the now need to draw here the dots, need to create here the containers, create here the need to first of all expand this here the jets for text expanded, set here the comma, and main axis alignments need to set this here the start, give this here the width, you need to configure this here the 8, and height also need to give this here the 8, create here the decorations box decorations, and to set this here the color recolor secondary text, and then after we need to set this here the border radius circulars, need to set here the for, and need to set here the margin const edges inset only, and to give this here the right margins we need to configure this here the UI. We need to set this here the 15th for this here the between dots. We need to show like this here the dots, and show like here the UI, and this is the detail screens are the done here, and to type of first of all the pix here details save here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.